All right, buckle up, because today we are diving deep into some seriously impactful personal development books.
10 of them, to be exact.
10 of the most influential books out there.
The kind that can shift how you think, how you operate, just completely change things up.
Not your average self-help stuff.
Nah, we're talking about the heavy hitters.
Yeah, and where are we getting this list from?
Well, it's called the 10 most influential personal development books.
Perfect.
Perfect for our deep dive because, well, our listeners are all about maxing out their potential.
And this list, wow, it's got everything.
Mindset, habits, purpose, psychology, even a little bit of alchemy.
There is something here for everyone.
We've got psychology, philosophy, practical skills.
Oh yeah, ready to level up.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so to kick things off,
Yeah.
we need to get a sense of what we're dealing with here.
Okay, sure. Makes sense.
What kind of themes or categories can we group these books into?
So, looking at the list, I'd say there are 4 main themes that emerge.
All right, lay it on me.
The first is mindset and psychology.
Okay, makes sense.
Then we have practical skills and habits.
Tactical, I like it.
Then there is spiritual and philosophical growth.
Getting deep.
And finally, leadership and effectiveness.
All right, a nice blend of the internal and external.
Yeah, covering all the bases.
Love it. So let's start with mindset and psychology.
All right, sounds good. And I think a classic is the perfect place to begin.
Hit me with it.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
A classic for sure, but so many personal development books out there.
Yeah.
What makes this one so special, so influential?
Well, for one, Hill spent over 20 years studying successful people.
20 years. Wow, that's dedication.
Right. He interviewed folks like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, the giants.
He really did his homework. Okay, so 20 years of research. What did he learn?
Well, one of his biggest takeaways was that achieving wealth, real wealth, it wasn't just about tactics and strategies.
There's got to be more to it.
Right. It was about cultivating what he called money consciousness.
Money consciousness. Okay, I'm intrigued. What does that even mean?
Basically, Hill believed that to attract wealth, you needed to shift your entire mindset, your beliefs about money, your thoughts, even your emotions.
So it's like an internal transformation, not just external actions.
Exactly. He even talked about the importance of visualizing yourself already possessing the wealth you desire.
Visualizing it? Interesting. Almost like tricking your mind into believing it's already yours.
Yeah, and the idea is that when you convince your subconscious mind that you're already successful, you're much more likely to take the actions needed to make it a reality.
Oh, I see. So it's not about faking it till you make it. It's about believing it till you become it.
Exactly. And, this principle, this idea of money consciousness, it can be applied to any goal, not just financial wealth.
Right. So if you want to, let's say, write a book, you need to develop a writer consciousness.
Exactly. You need to believe in your ability to visualize yourself holding that published book in your hands.
I can see how that could be really powerful.
It is. It's about aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your desired outcome.
Okay, so Think and Grow Rich. It's all about the power of belief, of cultivating the right mindset.
Yep. That's a big part of it.
Okay, what else do we have in this mindset and psychology theme?
Well, sticking with the theme of mindset, we have to talk about Carol Dweck's mindset.
Okay, mindset seems straightforward enough.
It is, but also incredibly profound. This book dives into the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset.
Okay, fixed versus growth. Break it down for me.
So someone with a fixed mindset believes their abilities are basically set in stone. Like, I'm just not good at math.
Right, I've heard that before, like I'm just not a creative person.
Exactly. But someone with a growth mindset believes they can develop their abilities through effort, learning, and hard work.
So instead of saying, I'm not good at math, they might say, I'm not good at math yet.
Exactly.
Okay, I see the difference. So which mindset is better?
Well, Dweck's research shows that people with a growth mindset are much more likely to embrace challenges.
Makes sense. If you believe you can improve, you're not afraid to try.
Right. They also persist in the face of setbacks. They see obstacles as opportunities for growth, not proof of their limitations.
I like that. Seeing setbacks as opportunities, that's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is, and ultimately, people with a growth mindset tend to achieve greater success, not because they're inherently more talented, but because of their belief in their ability to grow and learn.
So mindset really matters. It's like it can actually impact your outcomes.
Absolutely. It's a game changer.
Mindset by Carol Dweck. Definitely adding that to my reading list.
It's a good one, a real eye-opener.
Okay, so we've tackled the power of belief with Think and Grow Rich and the importance of mindset with mindset.
Two powerful books right there.
What's next?
Let's shift gears to a more practical realm.
Ooh, I love practical. Give me the tools.
All right, we are moving into the theme of practical skills and habits.
All right, I'm ready to level up my skill set.
And to kick things off, we're going way back to a classic.
Okay, let me guess. How to win friends and influence people.
You got it. Dale Carnegie's masterpiece.
This book, everyone's heard of it, but I feel like not enough people have actually read it.
You're probably right. It's one of those books that gets passed around, but maybe not fully absorbed.
So what's the secret sauce? What makes this book so enduring, so influential?
Well, Carnegie, he understood something fundamental about human nature. People crave connection. They crave appreciation. They want to feel understood.
Okay, that makes sense. We are social creatures after all.
Exactly. And his book, it's not about manipulation or tricks. It's about genuinely connecting with people.
So it's about being a better human, a better friend, a better colleague.
You got it. He gives practical advice on becoming a better listener, showing genuine interest in others, resolving disagreements respectfully, building those strong relationships.
Not just about winning friends, but influencing people too.
Right, and that influence, it comes from a place of authenticity, not force or coercion. It's about creating win-win situations.
That's so important, especially in today's world where it feels like genuine connection is becoming more and more rare.
I agree. And, these skills, they're not just for personal relationships.
Yeah.
They apply to every area of life, your career, your community, everywhere.
Okay, so how to win friends and influence people. It's about building those strong, authentic relationships which can benefit every aspect of your life.
Exactly. It's a timeless classic for a reason.
All right, how to win friends and influence people. Checked off the list. What other practical gems do we have in this theme?
Well, let's talk about habits, building those positive routines that can really elevate your life.
Ooh, I love a good habit. They make life so much easier. But starting them, that's the hard part.
Well, that's where James Clear's Atomic Habits comes in.
Atomic Habits, I've heard that one thrown around a lot lately.
For good reason, this book breaks down habit formation into a science. It's incredibly practical.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's the main takeaway?
So, Clear emphasizes that tiny changes, small incremental improvements, consistently applied over time, they can lead to remarkable results.
Small changes, big results. I like the sound of that.
Right. It's not about making those drastic overnight transformations. It's about those small, manageable actions that compound over time.
Okay, so instead of trying to overhaul my entire life, I should focus on making one small change at a time.
Exactly. And it takes the pressure off. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent.
Okay, I can get behind that. Give me an example of an atomic habit, something small but impactful.
Okay, let's say you want to start reading more, expand your knowledge, get lost in some good books.
Sounds great, but finding the time, that's always the challenge.
So instead of trying to read a whole book every week, what if you committed to reading just one page every day?
One page, that's totally doable.
Right. And over time, those pages add up. You'll be surprised how much you can accomplish just by doing a little bit each day.
Wow, that's a great example. It's about setting realistic expectations and building momentum.
Exactly. And it's funny, this idea of small changes leading to big results, it reminds me of money consciousness from Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, I see it. It's like by making those small shifts in our thoughts and behaviors, we can create a ripple effect that leads to significant changes in our lives.
Exactly. It's all connected. The mindset, the habits, the actions, they all work together.
Okay, I'm really starting to see the big picture here. Personal development, it's a holistic journey. It's about addressing all these different aspects of ourselves.
You got it. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves, one small step at a time.
Love it. Okay, so we've covered mindset, practical skills, and habits. Where are we heading next?
Let's go a little deeper, shall we?
I'm ready. Take me there.
We are venturing into the realm of spiritual and philosophical growth.
All right, time to ponder the big questions.
Exactly. We're talking about meaning, purpose, making sense of our experiences in the world.
Love it. What profound book are we starting with?
We're diving into Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, this one, I know it's a powerful read.
It is. And for those who don't know, this book is based on Frankl's experiences in Nazi concentration camps during World War II.
Wow, to find meaning in the midst of such suffering, that's incredible.
It is. And his book, it's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It's a message of hope, of finding purpose, even in the darkest of times.
I can only imagine the insights he gained from such a horrific experience. What was his main message?
Well, Frankl believed that our primary drive in life, it's not pleasure, it's the search for meaning.
The search for meaning, that resonates with me.
Right. And he found that those who could find meaning in their experiences, even in the midst of unimaginable suffering, they were more likely to survive.
That's profound, finding a reason to keep going, even when it seems like all hope is lost.
Exactly. And Frankl, he didn't just talk about the importance of finding meaning, he also offered some guidance on how to do it.
Okay, I'm all ears. How do we find meaning in our lives?
Well, he developed this thing called logotherapy, which basically focuses on helping individuals find their unique meaning in life.
Logotherapy. Interesting. So how does it work?
Well, he believed that meaning could be discovered in three main ways.
3 ways. Okay, tell me more.
The first is by creating work or doing a deed, basically contributing something to the world.
Okay, so finding meaning through our actions, our creations.
Right. The second way is by experiencing something or encountering someone, opening ourselves up to the beauty and richness of life and relationships.
So meaning through experiences and connections. I like that.
And the third way, this one is a bit more challenging, but it's about finding meaning in the attitude we take toward unavoidable suffering.
So it's not about seeking out suffering, but about how we choose to respond to the suffering that inevitably comes our way.
Exactly. It's about finding the lessons, the growth, the resilience that can emerge from difficult times.
Wow, that's deep. Finding meaning even in the midst of pain and hardship.
It's powerful stuff. And, it really speaks to the power we have to choose our response, even when we can't control our circumstances.
That's a message everyone needs to hear.
It is. It's about recognizing our own agency, our ability to find meaning and purpose no matter what life throws our way.
Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. What a profound contribution to the world of personal development.
A true classic, a book that can change your life.
Okay, so we've explored the search for meaning, the power of choosing our response. What else do we have in this spiritual and philosophical growth theme?
Well, let's talk about something a bit more mystical, shall we?
I love a good mystery. Hit me with it.
All right, we are diving into the world of Eckhart Tolle with his book, The Power of Now.
The Power of Now. I've heard a lot about this one, but I'll admit I haven't quite grasped the concept yet.
It can be a bit elusive, but basically Tolle, he argues that the root of much of our suffering, it comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future.
Okay, I can see that getting caught up in our thoughts and our worries. That can definitely lead to stress and anxiety.
Exactly. And so his message, it's about becoming fully present in the now, detaching from those thoughts, from those emotions that are pulling us away from the present moment.
So it's about quieting the mind, being present in the here and now.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the only moment we truly have is this one, right now.
Okay, I can see how that could be beneficial, but how do we actually do that? How do we quiet the mind, escape those thoughts that are constantly swirling around?
Well, Tolle offers practical techniques for achieving mental stillness, for observing those thoughts without judgment, recognizing that they're just thoughts and not necessarily reality.
So it's not about stopping our thoughts altogether, but about changing our relationship to them.
Exactly. It's about creating space, about recognizing that we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness that is observing those thoughts.
Wow, that's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is. And this idea of being present, it's not just a mystical concept. It has real practical benefits.
Like what?
Well, when you're fully present, you can experience things more deeply. You're more focused, more creative, more connected to yourself and the world around you.
And probably a lot less stress, too.
Absolutely. It's about finding peace and joy in the simplicity of the present moment.
The power of now. It's about mastering our minds, becoming present, escaping the trap of our thoughts.
Exactly. It's a journey of self-discovery and awakening.
Okay, before we move on from this theme, there's one more book that I'm curious about.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
Ah, yes. A beautiful choice.
Now, I know it's not your typical self-help book. It's a story, a novel.
It is, but it's packed with so much wisdom about personal growth, about following your dreams, trusting your intuition.
It seems to have resonated deeply with so many people. What's its appeal?
Well, I think it speaks to that longing we all have for something more, for a life of purpose and meaning.
It's a journey of self-discovery disguised as a quest for treasure.
Exactly. The protagonist, Santiago, he sets out on this adventure to find treasure, but it's ultimately a journey of self-discovery, of realizing his personal legend, which is Coelho's term for our unique purpose in life.
So it's about finding your own personal treasure, which may not be what you initially expected.
Exactly. It's about following your heart, listening to the whispers of the universe, trusting that you're on the right path, even when things get challenging.
I love that message. It's about embracing the unknown, having faith in the journey.
And, it's a reminder that the journey itself is just as important as the destination.
The journey is the destination. I like that.
It's about the lessons we learn, the experiences we have, the people we meet along the way.
Okay, so we've covered mindset, practical skills, spiritual and philosophical growth. Quite a journey so far.
It is. We've covered a lot of ground.
But we're not done yet.
Not even close. We've got one more theme to explore.
Right, what's next?
We're diving into the world of leadership and effectiveness.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Time to step up and lead.
Exactly. This theme, it's about achieving goals, maximizing your impact, both personally and professionally.
I'm ready. Let's lead with effectiveness.
All right, let's start with a book that's basically become a cornerstone of personal and professional development.
Hit me.
Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
I actually have that one on my shelf, but haven't gotten to it yet.
It's a classic.
It always seemed kind of intimidating, to be honest.
I get it. It's a big book, but it's worth it.
So, what's the big idea, the core of it?
Covey, he believed that effectiveness isn't about, quick fixes or shortcuts. It's much deeper than that.
Okay, so what is it about then?
It's about aligning yourself with these timeless principles like integrity, fairness, human dignity.
So it's about building character, not just skills.
Exactly. It's a more holistic approach. It's about developing your character from the inside out and then building a life on that solid foundation.
So it's less about managing your time and more about managing yourself.
You got it.
Okay, that makes sense. I can see why it's so popular.
And those 7 habits, they're really about moving you through stages from dependence to independence and then ultimately to interdependence.
So it's like a journey of personal growth with the goal of being able to effectively contribute to something larger than yourself.
Precisely.
7 habits. Got to bump that on my reading list.
It's a good one to have on hand. You can keep coming back to it.
Okay, so 7 habits is all about effectiveness through principle-centered living. What else we got?
All right, let's shift gears a bit. Move into the realm of peak performance and engagement.
Peak performance. I like the sound of that. Let's unlock our full potential.
Exactly. And I think the perfect guide for this is Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, love him.
Right. His energy is contagious.
Yeah, and his book, Awaken the Giant Within, that's a classic.
It is. It's a comprehensive guide to personal transformation.
Okay, so what does he cover in this book?
Well, pretty much everything.
Everything.
He delves into mastering your emotions and beliefs, setting compelling goals, creating a life that truly fulfills you.
It sounds pretty intense.
It is, but in a good way, it's about taking control of your life and achieving those dreams you've always had.
Give me some of the specifics. What kind of tools and strategies does he offer?
Well, he draws on a lot of different fields, like neurolinguistic programming, psychology, peak performance strategies. It's a real mix.
So it's like a toolbox for personal growth.
Exactly. And he helps you identify what's holding you back and then, boom, gives you the tools to break through those limitations.
I can see why he's so popular. He's like the ultimate motivator.
It is. He really knows how to light a fire under people.
All right. So Awaken the Giant Within. It's about taking massive action, breaking through limitations, achieving those big goals.
You got it.
Okay. What else do we have in this peak performance theme?
Well, while Robbins is very action-oriented, there's another perspective on peak performance that I find fascinating.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's from a book called Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
Flow, I've heard of that, but I'm not exactly sure what it's about.
So it's all about this concept of flow state, which is that feeling of being completely absorbed in an activity where you lose track of time. You're just in the zone.
Oh yeah, I've experienced that before. It's like everything else fades away and you're just completely focused.
Exactly. And Csikszentmihalyi's research suggests that experiencing flow is crucial for both happiness and high performance.
So it's not just about working hard. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're challenged and engaged, but not overwhelmed.
Precisely. And he found that people who regularly experience flow tend to be more creative, productive, and resilient.
Okay, so flow is good, got it, but how do we actually achieve it?
Well, he argues that anyone can experience flow, regardless of their profession or hobbies.
So it's not just for artists or athletes, it's for everyone.
Everyone. And it's about understanding the conditions that create flow and then structuring your activities in a way that allows you to access it more often.
Okay, so it's about setting ourselves up for success, designing our lives in a way that encourages flow.
Exactly. It's about finding those activities that truly engage you, where you can really get lost in the moment.
Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Adding that to my list. Got to learn how to tap into that flow state more often.
It's a game changer, trust me.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground, a lot of inspiring ideas.
We have, but before we wrap up this discussion, I thought it would be fun to revisit some of those standout details, those little nuggets of wisdom that really resonated with me from each book.
Oh, yeah. I love those little gems. They're often the most memorable and impactful.
Exactly. So let's start with Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. One concept that really stuck with me was the mastermind principle.
The mastermind principle. What's that all about?
So Pilhill, he believed that surrounding yourself with like-minded, ambitious individuals could significantly accelerate your success.
It's like the power of community, of having a support system of people who are also striving for growth.
Exactly. And he called this group of individuals a mastermind group, where you can share ideas, support each other, hold each other accountable.
I can see how that could be really powerful, the collective wisdom, the shared energy, the motivation that comes from being part of a group like that.
Absolutely. And, this principle, it's not just for business or entrepreneurship. It can be applied to any area of life.
Right, like a mastermind group for writers or artists, or even for personal growth in general.
Exactly. It's about finding your tribe, those people who get you, who support your dreams.
The mastermind principle, gotta love it. What else stood out to you?
Okay, from the 7 Habits, one of the most practical concepts that really stuck with me was beginning with the end in mind.
Beginning with the end in mind. Okay, that sounds intriguing. What does it mean?
It's about having a clear vision of your ideal future in all areas of your life, and then making decisions and taking actions that are aligned with that ultimate goal.
So it's about living intentionally, making choices that lead you towards your desired outcome.
Exactly. It's like reverse engineering your life, starting with where you want to be and then figuring out the steps you need to take to get there.
That's a powerful concept. I think a lot of people wander through life without a clear sense of direction.
Yeah, and having that vision for the future, it can provide that much needed compass. It can help you make those tough decisions, stay focused and motivated.
Beginning with the end in mind. Got to remember that one. What else you got?
Okay, shifting to Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. One of his insights that really struck a chord with me was his emphasis on the freedom we have to choose our response, even in the face of suffering.
That's a powerful message, especially considering what he went through. It's like saying that even when we can't control our circumstances, we always have control over our attitude, over how we choose to interpret those experiences.
Exactly. And he didn't say it would be easy, but he believed that our search for meaning, that's what gives us the strength to persevere through even the most challenging situations.
That's inspiring. It's a reminder that we're not simply victims of our circumstances. We have the power to choose how we respond, to find meaning even in the midst of adversity.
And sometimes that meaning, it comes from helping others, from focusing on something bigger than ourselves.
Powerful stuff. Okay, let's lighten things up a bit. What about Dale Carnegie and how to win friends and influence people? Any fun tips from that one?
Oh, yeah, tons. But one of the most practical and effective tips that stuck with me was the power of remembering and using people's names.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It's so simple, but it makes such a difference.
It does. It shows that you're paying attention, that you value them as an individual.
And it makes you more memorable, too.
Exactly. It's a small gesture that can have a big impact on building rapport.
Small gestures, big impact. Love it. What about Carol Dweck's mindset? Any specific insights from that one?
Oh, yeah. One of the things that really stood out to me was her research on the impact of praise.
Praise.
Yeah, she found that praising children for their effort rather than their innate ability fostered a growth mindset.
Oh, that makes sense. So instead of saying, you're so smart, you might say, I'm really impressed with how much effort you put into that project.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging the process, the strategies they used, rather than just the outcome.
So it's about praising the things that are within their control, which encourages them to develop that growth mindset and believe that they can always improve.
Precisely. And, it makes you wonder how much our own mindsets have been shaped by the way we were praised or criticized growing up.
Definitely something to think about. Okay, what about Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now? Were there any nuggets of wisdom that particularly resonated with you?
Oh, yeah, tons. But one of his key teachings that really stuck with me was that our thoughts are not who we are.
Okay, that's an interesting distinction. What does that mean exactly?
It means that we have a choice about whether or not to identify with our thoughts, to believe them.
So we can choose to simply observe our thoughts, without judgment, without getting caught up in them.
Exactly, recognizing that they're just mental events, not necessarily reflections of reality or who we are at our core.
It's about creating that separation, that space between ourselves and our thoughts.
Right, because we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness that is observing those thoughts.
Wow, that's a powerful shift in perspective. It can be so liberating to realize that we're not at the mercy of our thoughts. We have the power to choose which thoughts to engage with and which to let go of.
Absolutely. It's about taking back control of our minds.
Love it. What else stood out to you?
Okay, from James Clear's Atomic Habits, one of the most practical strategies he recommends is habit stacking.
Habit stacking, what's that?
So it's basically linking a new habit you want to develop to an existing habit you already do regularly.
Well, that's clever, like piggybacking on an existing routine.
Exactly. So, for example, if you want to start meditating every morning, you could stack it onto your existing habit of brushing your teeth. So after you brush your teeth, you meditate for 5 minutes.
Oh, I see. So it makes the new habit easier to remember and implement because it's tied to an existing behavior.
Precisely. It's all about making it as easy as possible for yourself.
Habit stacking, love it. Got to try that. What about Tony Robbins and Awaken the Giant Within? What gem did you pull from that one?
Well, one of his key insights is that our emotions, they're not random. They're actually the result of our interpretations and beliefs about events.
Okay, so it's not the event itself that causes the emotion, but our thoughts about the event.
You got it. He calls this the emotional triad: the thought, the feeling, and the action.
So if we can change our thoughts, we can change our feelings and ultimately our actions.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose how we respond to any given situation.
That's empowering. It means we're not just victims of our emotions. We can actually take control of them.
Exactly. It's about mastering our minds and our emotions.
Okay, what about Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist? Any inspiring lines from that one?
Oh, yeah, so many. But one that always sticks with me is, and when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's like the universe has got your back. It's supporting you in achieving your dreams.
Exactly. It's about having faith in the journey, trusting that things will work out even when you're not sure how.
That's a message we all need to hear sometime.
I mean, it is. It's a reminder that we're not alone, that there's something bigger than ourselves that's guiding us.
All right, last but not least, what about Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's flow? Any practical tips for tapping into that flow state?
Well, one of the key conditions for experiencing flow, he says, is having a clear goal and immediate feedback.
So it's not just about doing something you enjoy. There needs to be a sense of challenge and purpose.
Right. And when we know exactly what we're trying to achieve and we can see our progress, we're more likely to become fully absorbed in the task at hand.
I could see that it's like that sense of progress and feedback fuels our motivation and keeps us
It's
engaged.
just like a positive feedback loop. The more we experience flow, the more we're motivated to seek it out again.
Okay, wow, we've really covered a lot of ground here. Revisiting all these key insights has been incredible.
It has. It's amazing how all these different books, they offer different perspectives, but they all ultimately point towards the same goal:
Which is
living a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
It is. It's about becoming the best versions of ourselves, living with purpose, passion, and joy.
I love it. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of personal development,
Yeah.
we've explored so many incredible ideas.
We have, from mindset to habits, from purpose to flow. It's been quite a journey.
It has. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is that personal development, it's not about finding that one magic solution. It's about continuously exploring different ideas, experimenting with what resonates with you, and integrating those insights into your life.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's about becoming a lifelong learner, always striving to grow and evolve.
And that's what makes this journey so exciting. There's always something new to discover, a new challenge to embrace, a new level of potential to unlock.
And the beauty of it is, you don't have to do it alone. There are countless resources available.
Books, podcasts, courses, communities, you name it.
Exactly. It's about finding what works for you, what inspires you, what helps you become the best version of yourself.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder.
A good one.
What's one small step you can take today, inspired by one of these books, to move yourself forward on your journey?
It doesn't have to be a huge leap, just a small action that aligns with your goals and aspirations.
Because remember, even the smallest steps, taken consistently, can lead to extraordinary results.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of personal development. We hope you found it inspiring and empowering.
And remember, the power to create the life you want, It lies within you. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep. It really is amazing how all these concepts, from mindset and habits to purpose and flow, they all kind of weave together
They do.
to create this tapestry of personal growth.
It's like, it's not about finding that one magic bullet.
No magic bullet.
It's about exploring different ideas, seeing what clicks with you.
What resonates?
Exactly. And then taking those insights and actually using them, making them part of your life.
It's about becoming a student of life. Always learning, always growing.
And that's what makes this whole journey so exciting.
It is. There's always something new to discover, a new challenge to embrace.
A new level to reach.
Now, we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have 10 books.
10 influential books, each with its own perspective, its own set of tools. But you don't have to read every single book out there to experience growth.
Oh, absolutely not. It's not about checking boxes.
No.
It's about finding those books that really speak to you, that address your unique challenges.
The ones that resonate with where you are on your journey.
Exactly. And using that wisdom to guide you, to help you take those next steps.
So out of all the books we discussed today,
Yeah.
is there one that particularly stands out to you?
That's a tough one. They're all so good.
I know, right? But if you had to choose just one.
Well, I think for me right now, it's Man's Search for Meaning.
Frankl's book.
Yeah, his message about finding meaning, even in the midst of suffering, it's just so powerful, so relevant, especially in today's world.
I agree. It's a book that everyone should read.
It really is. How about you? Which book resonates with you the most right now?
I'm really drawn to Atomic Habits.
Oh, yeah.
I love the idea that small changes done consistently can lead to big results.
It's a powerful concept.
It feels very empowering, like I have control over my own growth.
And the great thing is you can start applying it today.
Right. No need to wait.
So what's one small habit you could implement this week, inspired by the book?
Let me think. Well, James Clear talks about habit stacking.
Oh, yeah, that's a great strategy.
I've been wanting to incorporate more mindfulness into my day.
I hear ya.
So maybe I'll try meditating for 5 minutes right after I make my morning coffee.
Perfect. You're stacking a new habit onto an existing one.
Exactly. Making it easy to stick to.
And who knows, maybe in a few months you'll be meditating for 20 minutes every morning without even thinking about it.
That's the goal. Small steps leading to big changes.
That's the beauty of personal development. It's an ongoing process of discovery, experimentation, and growth.
It's about embracing the journey, celebrating those wins, learning from the setbacks, and never losing sight of your potential.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There's a whole community out there.
People who are on the same journey.
Supporting each other, sharing insights, celebrating successes.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of personal development books,
Yeah.
what's one small step you, our listeners, can take today
Inspired by one of these books.
to move yourself forward, even just a little bit?
One small action that aligns with your goals and your aspirations.
Because remember, even the smallest steps, taken consistently, can lead to extraordinary results.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive.
And remember, the power to create the life you want.
It lies within you.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.